In a quiet Virginia suburb, two police officers handcuffed a black woman in a grocery store parking lot, accusing her of talking back during a routine stop. Their smug confidence turned to shock when she calmly identified herself as Major General Denise Marshall, a high-ranking Army officer. When she made a single phone call to the Pentagon, the officers' careers unraveled, exposing a chain of events that would spark a national conversation about authority, bias, and accountability. Denise Marshall grew up in Detroit, in a working-class neighborhood where resilience was a way of life. Her father, Clarence, was a factory worker, and her mother, Vivian, taught elementary school. They instilled in Denise a fierce work ethic and a belief that education could open any door. From a young age, Denise was drawn to structure and discipline, excelling in school and joining the junior ROTC in high school. Her leadership skills shone early, and by 17, she had earned a scholarship to West Point, where she studied military science and graduated in the top 10% of her class. At West Point, Denise faced challenges as one of the few black women in her cohort. She endured subtle biases, classmates questioning her qualifications, instructors overlooking her contributions. But she pushed through, earning respect through her competence and determination. After graduation, she commissioned as a second lieutenant in the Army, specializing in logistics and operations. Over 2 decades, she climbed the ranks, serving in Iraq and Afghanistan, where she oversaw complex supply chains under pressure. Her strategic mind and calm demeanor earned her promotions, and by 45, she was a major general, one of the highest-ranking black women in the Army, stationed at the Pentagon in a senior advisory role. On a Saturday afternoon in Alexandria, Virginia, Denise was running errands in civilian clothes, a simple blouse and jeans, her hair in a neat bun. She had stopped at a grocery store to pick up ingredients for dinner when 2 local police officers, Officers Brian Tate and Michael Larson, approached her in the parking lot. They claimed her car matched the description of a vehicle involved in a nearby theft. Denise, unaware of any issue, calmly asked for clarification. Tate, the senior officer, took her question as defiance, snapping, "Don't talk back, just show me your ID." His tone was sharp, and Larson stepped closer, his hand on his holster. Denise complied, handing over her driver's license, but she reiterated her question about the vehicle description. Tate, visibly irritated, accused her of being uncooperative. Larson chimed in, suggesting she was making trouble. Within minutes, they decided to detain her, citing obstructing an investigation. Despite her calm protests, they handcuffed her in front of onlookers, who began recording the incident on their phones. Denise, maintaining her composure, told the officers they were making a mistake, but didn't resist. She asked to make a phone call, which they allowed, assuming it was to a family member or lawyer. Instead, Denise called her direct contact at the Pentagon, Colonel James Whitaker, a trusted colleague in the Office of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. She briefly explained the situation, keeping her voice steady but firm. Whitaker, alarmed, escalated the call to a senior official, who contacted the Alexandria Police Department's chief within minutes. By the time the officers realized who Denise was, their supervisor arrived at the scene, ordering her release. The handcuffs came off, but the damage was done. Videos of the incident were already circulating online, showing a black woman in cuffs, calmly asserting her rights while the officers dismissed her. Denise returned home, but didn't let the matter rest. She filed a formal complaint with the police department, detailing the officers' conduct and their failure to verify her identity before escalating. She also reached out to her network at the Pentagon, ensuring the incident was documented. The videos went viral, sparking outrage among military personnel and civilians alike. Commenters noted the officers' aggressive tone and questioned why they hadn't listened to Denise's reasonable requests for clarification. The hashtag General in Cuffs trended, drawing attention to issues of racial profiling and police overreach. The Alexandria Police Department launched an internal investigation led by Captain Gwynn, who reviewed body camera footage and witness statements. The footage showed Tate and Larson ignoring Denise's attempts to de-escalate, with Tate repeatedly interrupting her and Larson making dismissive comments about her attitude. The investigation also revealed that the vehicle description they cited was vague, a dark sedan with no specific make or license plate, and didn't match Denise's car closely. Nguyen concluded that the officers had acted impulsively, escalating a routine stop into an unwarranted detention based on biased assumptions. The fallout was swift. The police chief, under pressure from the Pentagon and public outcry, suspended Tate and Larson without pay. Further scrutiny of their records uncovered prior complaints of excessive force and unprofessional conduct, mostly against minority residents. The department moved to terminate both officers, a decision upheld after a brief appeal. Tate, with 10 years on the force, and Larson, a 3-year veteran, lost their careers, their names tied to the high-profile incident. The chief issued a public apology to Denise, acknowledging the department's failure to uphold fair policing standards. Denise, meanwhile, used the incident to advocate for change. She met with local officials, urging them to implement mandatory de-escalation training and bias awareness programs for officers. She also spoke at a military conference, sharing her experience to highlight the challenges Black service members face, even at the highest ranks. Her story resonated, prompting the Department of Defense to review how military personnel are treated by civilian law enforcement. Denise's call to the Pentagon had not only freed her from cuffs, but also exposed systemic issues that demanded attention. The incident changed Denise's perspective. She had always believed her rank and accomplishments would shield her from prejudice, but the encounter showed her otherwise. She began mentoring young Black officers, encouraging them to speak out against injustice. Community groups in Alexandria invited her to lead workshops on knowing one's rights, and she became a quiet but powerful figure in the push for police reform. Her mother, Vivian, told friends, "Denise has always stood tall, no matter who tried to push her down." The officer's downfall was a cautionary tale for law enforcement. Tate and Larson's careers ended not because of Denise's rank, but because their actions couldn't withstand scrutiny. The videos, the Pentagon call, and the public's response forced accountability in a way few had anticipated. Denise, ever the soldier, continued her work at the Pentagon. Her resolve strengthened. She had turned a moment of humiliation into a catalyst for change, proving that one call and one voice could shift the course of justice.